Rooney's still injured anyway, so.
But then surely if it's a medical issue, but then surely if that's
Oh no, you got the bald swat injured. No way.
independent doctors on scene to do that because you can't necessarily take it from a
You've
team.
got away with ways, you, Kieran.
Be erroneous in their.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, but the physios are
He's just a money grabbing twat.
Well, that's why if there's a protocol, and the protocol is that if you're knocked unconscious.
Yeah, probably a majority of them are though, aren't they?
It's a very rare occurrence, but if you're knocked unconscious,
Just happens
physio says you're coming
that they're
back.
actually good at
If you're out, you have
kicking a ball.
That's what I'm saying. The referee
Get
can
to
have that.
911.
The referee can have that because if the physio says yes, he was unconscious, then there's no argument. The
Van
referee
Persie.
refer to, Rule 17. Subsection
Curry,
3,
thank you very much for the follow, my friend. Thank you.
Even though team doctors are still doctors.
And Mr.
That's
Lillits, Mr. Liltiz, sorry, has just subscribed to me in YouTube. If you, I'm assuming you spotted that through.
That protocol has to be followed. I think the thing is that football is
Maybe
a little
not.
bit behind other sports, but one of the reasons why it is because it's not exactly a full contact sport like rugby, or
Don't forget to sub to
or
me.
even some of the other junior codes that are played, around the globe. NFL has a massive problem, and they've
For
only
the new
just
ones
started
in the
playing
stream,
now.
But they had a much
welcome.
bigger problem before they started sorting out, the
Yeah,
protocol,
and
which is
listen,
now in place.
You're a bunch of pricks.
Rugby
We're joining
is
him.
place with this.
Don't listen to Kieran.
And it's going to rugby will have
You got more followers than me, man.
massive problem with
Viewers than me.
injuries. And football does not need to go down
You'd have more
this
followers than
route.
me, so
They
no.
can do
Yeah,
something
'cause
now. They can get a
I'm
protocol in
I'm
place,
nice.
get
I don't tell
something
people I'll break their legs if they don't follow me.
and get the players the care they need.
Yeah, I
They
do it
should
twice
be
a month.
observed.
I'm
They have to
bald.
go away. They should be taken to hospital and observed overnight,
Yeah.
just to make sure.
Of course, I'm amazed.
I'm
that
gonna
didn't
lie.
happen. Nigel, thanks very
I can't
much.
believe I'm
You didn't
losing
get
to
around
Haimo.
talking about the whole Januzaj incident, which is also about the power of referees.
Come on, come on. Where have I gone up to actually now? I'm
People
second. I'm level
People
on.
only, people only watching you. Just get watch you get sacked.
In the same way
I'm
that
second.
the referee on
Again.
any given game
On a-
decides who is yellow
And
card,
level
who
on
is red card.
points
Nonsense of having
with
a padlock,
Chelsea,
which
who's top.
people can be punished
Ooh,
retrospectively,
level on
just
points
for me.
with
It's
Chelsea.
totally
Oh my god, my
unfair.
player's just
It
tackled
means
my
that
other
you do
player.
something on the pitch
Oh, what a
which
legend.
technically would get you sent off, but because nobody saw it, you get away with it.
At least the players know how to tackle
In
someone.
video technology, we need to
Bend.
have proper fourth or maybe fifth officials looking at pieces
Come on,
of
get it.
evidence.
Oh, ah.
They can referee, they can signal to the referee that so and so needs to be sent off.
I'm
It's
losing to
very
Haimo.
It's not difficult.
Come
this
on.
one.
Oh no,
All they
don't
have to
score,
do
don't
is
score, please don't score.
double two, double
Oh,
three.
thank God for that.
This is TalkSport Extra Time. We've
That
got
should
loads
be
of
it, that, now.
Up next, we're going to speak to Steve Fainaru,
Maybe not.
for ESPN. He's got some very
Get it
interesting
away,
things to
get it
say
away, get it
about
away, get it away. Yes! Thank God for that. Well done, team. Well done. Well done.
Every Friday night at Drive on TalkSport with Prostate Cancer UK. Hear the latest updates, rumours, opinions, stats and facts.
City just beat Chelsea as well, 2-0. So where have I...
This season, 10,000 men will die from prostate cancer. Find out more
Does that mean... Do I still stay second there? I do. Because I've got...
TalkSport, supporting Men United versus prostate cancer. Together we can win.
I've drawn 6 games
Just at the right, just above the plough, you'll see the
altogether.
Pole Star,
That's where I'm dropping
also
my
known as
points.
Polaris or the Northern Star.
And what about that one over there?
That's the Vauxhall Corsa Sting. Often seen in 6 vibrant colours and features twin stripes, matching wing mirrors and alloy wheels. And if you were to guess
Spiky
the price,
Runner,
you could
following
buy
me.
it
Thank you
for
very much if you're still in.
just
Thank you.
$8,995. Meet the Starling Stripes at your local Vauxhall retailer today, or for more
Thank
information,
you to the other
Vauxhall.co.uk
fucking decided what default
/Sting.
you
Terms and
bastard.
conditions apply.
Stop getting jealous, you.
2014. Celebrate by singing
I'm going at 28, is it?
home of football. Wembley
They're probably only following me because I'm listening to radio.
Friday, 15th of November. Tickets are on sale now from just £25.
They find the radio station entertaining.
Oh, someone unfollowed me and someone followed me.
I've got...
Happy days.
I've got Hull. FA Cup.
I'm back on 220.
At thefa.com/tickets. England versus Chile at Wembley Stadium.
Don't forget to follow, guys, if you're new in the stream. And welcome, by the way.
No, I'm not gonna say out loud.
What?
Nah, I'm not playing this game at all.
Fixtures, let's... How many put... Good. 5 points clear in me group stages. there. Just start defensive positioning.
Online and on TV at Virgin Media Channel 927.
You got Josh Flip in your stream.
I've got who? Sorry?
Oh, never mind, they've just left. The bastards are gone. You say hello to them and then they piss off.
I know.
This is Talk Sports Extra Time. I'm Mike
Just
Graham.
when
We've got
joining the
lots
stream.
to
Oh my
do.
god, he spawned me,
Lots of time to
run!
do it as well. We want to hear from
I'm
you.
scared.
8717 3344. The laughable situation, which
Oh,
unfortunately
never mind,
could have been
work.
much, much
The
more
space
serious
has
than
just
funny,
started
at
streaming.
the weekend.
I know.
French
He'll.
goalkeeper
Everybody will
being
probably
allowed,
just
to play
Leave
on
all last
after
night.
being
I'd be on
concussed
one,
after
you
being
Yeah.
knocked out
because I'm
in the
watching
77th
you.
minute
And then
of the
he'd be like
Everton
2
Spurs game.
grand.
Seems to me to show that what we need in this country, what we need
Who's
in
it?
this-
What do you have
in
with
the
you?
Football League,
370 on
in the
the ad.
Premier League, in the FA, is some form of
I felt
proper
sorry for him.
protocol. The thing that shocked me about this incident was that
His
nobody
chat
seemed
was
to know
getting
what to do. The
spammed.
referee didn't know what to do. Spurs didn't seem to know what to do. AVB, the manager, was on the sideline looking bemused. Brad Friedel was on the sideline laughing, chuckling to himself at the kind of bravery of Hugo Lloris, who had been knocked unconscious by the knee of Romelu Lukaku. And suddenly, he decided he wanted to play on. So even though he'd been taken off to the side of the pitch, he more or less broke free
Why
his
is-
handlers, as it were, who was Spurs physio.
I'm going with it.
And
I'm
off he went,
asking
back
the
to playing goal. Now,
I'm doing the quick
happily, he
pick
seems to be
for me.
okay.
What's her name? For me team.
Earlier on yesterday,
And it seems to be sort of
nothing
working
was
for me.
found. But that could have been so much worse, and the reason that I'm concerned about it is that the referees should have the power to remove players even if they want to continue to play on. That's what happens in the NFL, that's what happens in rugby. It's a very, very different kettle of fish in football, and once again, it needs to be fixed. What do you think? 08717 22
My defenders are scoring a lot of goals.
He knows an awful lot about how the NFL have dealt with this issue. His name is Steve Fenaru, and he, of course, wrote a book called The League of Denial, the NFL Concussions and the Battle.
Not that I'm
for the
complaining,
Truth. He's on the phone now. Let's find out what he's got to tell us. Steve, very good morning to you. Welcome.
Morning, good evening. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, very well indeed. Concussion, as we've heard, obviously is a much bigger problem in a game like American football and in the NFL than it is in our version of football, which is not quite such a physical battle, as it were. But people do get head injuries, and you may not know an awful lot about this incident that happened at the weekend, but the staggering thing for me was that the player himself was the guy who made the decision that he wanted to continue to play, despite obviously the fact that everybody knew he'd actually been knocked unconscious. I mean, that could never happen in the NFL, could it?
Well, that actually doesn't
Lincoln
surprise
Park
me
has
at
just
all.
been announced to
I think
headline
it's very much
Dublin.
still part of the culture of the NFL. You know, the players want to play.
Yeah.
You know, it's there. It's you know, there's a great incentive for them to play, and of course, the coaches want them to play. And that's why I think really the responsibility lies with the trainers and the doctors, the medical professionals who are on the sidelines and should know better. But I think as long as you have players out there who have a financial incentive and a cultural incentive to be back on the field, they're going to go back out as long as they can, in any way get themselves back out there.
Sure. The story of your book is an interesting one, isn't it? Because we know now that many players, I think as many as 3,000.
No one's talking in your chat, you are, same as mine.
Between the years of 1959 and 1980.
No, I think
have suffered
I think some of them just like to come in and watch, don't they? Listen to what you're saying, not necessarily just talk. Walk talks to you now and again, doesn't he? So.
Yeah, exactly. And so our book, League of Denial, the title refers to the 2-decade period where the National Football League basically denied that concussions were a major injury.
He's got to be offside there.
During this period was that it really didn't matter how severe or how many concussions.
I'm sure he was
you had,
offside then.
that you were perfectly fine to go back on the field without any real risk of further injury. They also denied that professional football players, professional American football players, could get brain damage from playing the sport, even though autopsies of several football players in the mid 2000s showed that in fact that had happened, that they had gotten brain damage from playing the sport. It's only really when the league was called before Congress in the late 90s when they really began to take substantive action and reverse a lot of the policies that they were pushing, for a long time.
And since then, they've sort of redesigned the helmets so the helmets are better. And again, I mean, I'm not trying to compare the two sports because clearly, in American football, you're banging heads much more often than anybody's doing in football here in this country. But is it more about the prolonged and different types of concussions that some of these people have suffered from? Or is it just as dangerous to just have an occasional concussion? I mean, does it matter about how often it happens?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that the science, frankly, is still somewhat in its infancy. But you know, I don't think it's a debate that's going on over here with soccer. You know, a lot of people are wondering about the effects of multiple concussions. You know, just simply from heading the ball or getting elbowed in the head, players were getting kneed in the head, like seems to have happened over the weekend back there. And so, you know, I think what they're finding is you now have several dozen players, former NFL players, NFL players, who post-mortem have been diagnosed with this neurodegenerative disease called CTE. But you also have, you know, new protocols that are going on in the league that in the NFL to try to take the head out of the game, as the NFL says. But, you know, their players wear helmets for a reason. And so this idea of somehow eliminating the helmet, it's kind of like soccer. You know, how are you going to take the head out of the game? And players head the ball all the time. They get hit in the head all the time. It's true. It's not like NFL football, but it still involves using your head as an instrument.
Right. So talk us through, if you would, Steve, what happens in an NFL game if a player is suspected of having been knocked out, if there's a suspicion that he's lying there unconscious, even if it's only for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. What's the procedure there?
Right. So now this wasn't true a couple of years ago, but now if you're knocked unconscious in the game, you're out for the rest of the game. You're taken off the field. You're taken to the locker room. They take your helmet away. They perform neuropsychological testing to try to determine how your brain is functioning, and you're examined by an independent neurologist to determine sort of what is your mental state after this injury and in subsequent days after the injury. That's dramatically different. You know, the problem is that the players are incentivized to not report these injuries, and frequently they're not knocked out, but they have a concussion. So, for example, I live in San Francisco, and the 49ers quarterback, Alex Smith, last year was knocked out of a game with a concussion. He wasn't knocked unconscious, but he suffered a concussion, reported the injury, and according to the NFL protocol, he was removed from the game. Replaced by a guy
He's just talking to the wife. I've just noticed that.
Alex Smith is now playing in Kansas City, and Kaepernick is one of the biggest up-and-coming quarterbacks in the NFL. And so, you know, that's the risk. If you come on the field, there's a real possibility you're going to lose.
See, when on Steam, I can
that's
bring
the
in
tension
chat.
right there. And that's true of football, soccer, as the same as it is in American football and other sports.
I gotta win the game, like, down a fourth.
I mean, if there has been a concussion, is it automatic? Are they allowed to come back?
Started pissing
What
me
happened
off,
with Maurice was that, you know, he was kind of walked over to the side.
You go from winning
and it looked
to
as though
fucking
he was
shit.
substituted by Brad
I know.
Hill.
That's what I keep getting. That's what I
You're
got.
getting points, so.
No, I'm getting
legit.
points. I'm getting points at the minute, but just wait till end of season. Near end of season.
Oh, how can you go from 10 match unbeaten to like losing 6 games in a row?
Fucking Maran Flynn is injured.
Extraordinary because that was the NFL as recently as 5 years ago.
I dropped
mean, a
on
lot of
5th.
people treat these injuries as kind of, you know, have treated these injuries as minor. And the NFL
I had to change my
sent
goalkeeper
that
to see
message out
fast.
to the
Done,
players.
so I put a 16-year-old
You know,
in.
the players were like, oh, you
16
get dinged
when-
up and
when
you,
the kid.
your
Yeah.
head clears and then you go
He's actually
back in
really
the
good
game,
region.
no matter whether you're knocked unconscious or
Potential
not.
to be
That
League
happens-
One. So he's got a couple of years
happens a lot
with
in
me.
the NFL. It doesn't strike me. I just think that it's not as far along over there. That protocols
If you don't score,
are
I'm
coming.
kicking the fucking
Sports
team.
are changing because of this issue and what you
Whoa.
learn through the science. It's just a matter of when.
If you
know,
know
I don't
me,
think
man, I got no
that's
patience.
Oh my god, what a scrappy goal that was.
Again, you know, the guy's knocked unconscious and he runs back on the field. But of course, you never know.
I see if my good friend Luke has got that many followers.
Yeah, absolutely right. And eventually,
I should have
was
about
it the lawsuit
27
that
now.
brought a change to the
Yeah,
league?
27, bang on.
Or what was it?
I think it was a combination of
I'm slowly going up.
that was starting to look into it.
I'm slowly going down.
Scientists who
No,
were
no.
trying to warn the league that this was
People
a
won't
major
follow, people
problem.
follow, so it stays in the same.
Endeavoring
I went
to
up
try
2
and
today
figure
anyway, so I
out
can't
that
complain.
these were major
No, you can't.
Injuries in many cases, and in some cases were literally
You're beating West Ham 1-0, yeah?
Yeah, it was a scrappy goal though.
I'm winning 1-0
and
myself.
dying prematurely and
Somehow.
committing suicide, and so you had these
Own
sort
goal, I
of
think.
series of
Never mind. Oh,
horrific,
that was lucky.
episodes that involved very
I thought I
prominent
conceded it.
NFL players. And then, as
See,
the
why
league
did Carrick
continued to
pass it back
decline,
then?
Congress got involved, and the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, was brought before the
Van
one of the
Persie.
committees and was frankly
He is
imperative
on.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning,
the NFL, the big tobacco,
and
which
work
of course
basically got
everybody
67
hears
viewers.
what that
2-0
means,
game
and
set match.
lawsuits and
I-
denial and
If he's on in the afternoon, he hits 300.
began to change.
Yeah, I was watching him. I was streaming as well.